I'm Alex.
I'm Juan.
And I'm Nick.
Quinn, and we're NAU Country Project.
So NAU Country is a crop insurance company. They provide crop insurance to 48 of the states across the United States. They're part of the QBE Insurance Group. It's a company based out of Australia. They're considered the top 20 insurers internationally and in the Australia's largest global insurer. And they develop a whole bunch of different softwares for getting quotes, managing policies, getting you crop mapping. They do all sorts of other development for different insurance needs, depending on what a customer needs. And for our project, for them, we designed a 360-degree review system. You can either do it based on a project or based on like an individual that had participated in a project if they wanted self-feedback for how they personally did on this project. So they used to distribute the survey just by printed copy. You'd fill it out, and then someone would have to collect all the printed copies, take all that data, input it into a system, and then go through, analyze all the data, and then distribute out the necessary data to whoever, whether it be a manager, whether it be the individual that the survey was about, so they could understand. And it was just a long and lengthy process. So our group took and automated this process so that it was a web app that anybody could take, and the data would be collected and then analyzed pretty much instantaneously. So we kind of just shortened up the process. They also do this to collect data to see how teams do together, how well they work together, and where they can adjust to make things work a little better. They have their 4 C's, which is a lot of how they organize their questions and their surveys, and it's just to test like communication skills amongst groups, collaboration, so like how well groups do together, the critical thinking, and creativity. And that was a big part of how we had to organize our data down at the end. And with that.
And for our solution, like he said, we created a web-based survey application using ASP.NET Core MVC framework for the flexibility. It provides a faster and better review system for the company. And
for our first 2 sprints, we received our project. We got our know-how for what MVC is. We had a little issues in the beginning, but we had a little bit of a learning curve. We got through it. We had to create a specification document, and we created our first survey page, an admin view, and the login page as well. We also began work on our database schema in sprint 1 and 2. And in sprint 3 and 4, we began work on link generation and the email functionality in it within the app. Ability to save questions based on a database or based on a survey ID and question ID to associate them together. Finalize the link generation mechanism and email in-app ability, and finally updating the database to save the results properly, because we had a few issues with different types of questions not saving correctly, and we fixed the survey.
for our demonstration.
Here's our login page. It searches through an administrator table. So each administrator has its own username. We just put a generic one user and gave it a generic password as well.
And this is the admin view page. So basically they'd have a couple options to choose between creating a survey, creating a group, creating categories, or creating a user. also just viewing the groups and surveys categories and results. Just create a quick group. And here it'll display the other groups that are existing within the database, and the admin would get the choice of either editing, viewing the details, or deleting the group. For categories,
You just have the 4 C's for now for categories.
And so if they wanted to go about creating a new survey, you just go to the first link here to create a survey, click on that. It would pull up just this entry page where you could type in the name for the survey. You could do individual or project. We'll just go with project for now. If you click individual, then you have to type in a name in this category for which individual the survey would be about, and that'd be associated with them and one of the databases. So, and if you don't fill in this information, it will just reload this page and give you an error. So then once you go create, it'll just pull up this. So far we have 0 questions entered into our survey, but you can go here, you can enter a question, Q1, then you can choose free text or a number scale, and you can pick which one of the 4 C's it would be associated with. So once you do that, you hit add question, it'll bring it back up and allow you to continue adding questions. You can go through, add as many questions as you would like, choosing whichever specifications you need for them. It'll just keep adding questions to it. Once you're done adding whatever questions you felt necessary, you can come down here, you just hit the save button, it'll save it, and then it'll bring you to the list of surveys that have already been created. We just have some pre-populated ones to show that there are multiple surveys that have been created so far. And from there, you can choose to send the survey. So you can email it out to the people that you would need taking this survey, whoever's within the project, or individuals reviewing other individuals. So you just hit send survey. It brings up this. You select which individuals you'd like it to go to. It just brings down a drop-down list of everybody in the database. So we'll send it to Nick. Hit add recipient. It'll show that Nick's been now added to the list of recipients that will receive this survey. We'll give it a subject. And you'll hit send email. If any of this information isn't filled out, whether there's not a recipient, there's no subject line, no body, it will refresh this page and give you an error saying that you're missing one or another piece of the information in order to send it. Once you send the email, it'll just bring you back to the main page and allow you to either continue creating surveys, editing groups, or doing anything of that nature. And
did we get it?
Did I select the right email?
Are we in the right one?
Got the email.
You got the
Refresh
email?
it. Where? Like the web page. Top. I already did.
Oh, come on, baby. There we go.
Oh, now you closed it.
Great.
Just click on Gmail down there.
There we go. Cool. Oh, and it came from me. We have just right now, my email is used for sending out emails. It can be hard-coded or search through a database, whichever you prefer. Come on, baby. And this link generation, it just has the generic website in the front end, and then we use the link generation where it uses a specific ID for the survey that you created. If you noticed last one, the survey ID was 1008 for the one we just created. So, and my participant ID is 8 in our survey, so it would be whoever it's unique to the person you sent it to. And let's click the link. This cannot be displayed. Are we still running?
Yes.
We are. I don't know what's up. Well, all right then.
Try sending another one.
We can try sending another one.
View surveys.
And view surveys. Let's just send a different one. New recipients. Add another one. There we go. Test 2. Hooray. There we go.
You have to go back to your inbox.
This is inbox. Another one. Yay. Yes. There we go. Alright. These are just generic questions. Answer. And if you do not answer all the questions, it will give you an error. Strongly disagree, strongly agree. Answer 2. Let's submit to it. Thank you. It's been recorded. Now you can just exit out. And if we go back to the admin page.
So, viewing results is basically it'll come to a page that has all the completed surveys in the database. I believe we just did final test 2. So we're going to hit view details here. So basically, this was a project survey. So we'll have the question, then we'll have the overall average, and for each group that was participating in the survey, it'll be filled out here. There's only one group, it was project manager, so you can see the answers here. And all the comments displayed below. There's definitely some test data in here since it was not the one we just created, so there's some existing stuff, but and if you click view details, you can see some of the individual results to see who answered what. As you can see, there's multiple answers from this, just because we were doing some testing with this. We'll go back to some other completed surveys. I had a couple of different ones with just some dummy data filled in, so to better show off exactly all the different results we want. So this one, we have an individual survey. As you can see, this was a survey about Tina. You can see the question, the average that all of her peers answered about her, as well as her own answer. And again, the comments below. So you can see basically just be open-ended comments explaining how they felt about her performance or whatever the case may be. And then again, you can see all of these individual results that was answered by each participant in the survey. And then one other project survey with some extra data. So there's 2 groups in here. You can see the averages from each group and then the overall average as well. And again, you can see all the various scores by each individual. So basically it shows off all of the different results you'll be able to see. One thing wanted to go back to, wasn't mentioned before, we have the ability to create users. So basically this username will just be the email address that you want to for participants participating in survey or whatever the recipient may be for a particular survey. As you can see, you can go and edit this, select whichever group you want. So I guess we can go to, I'll edit Tina real quick. To this new group we made, save that. I believe, all right, sorry. If we go to a different user, I just want to show off that we can create the, show the different display of groups in a survey results. Save that, complete surveys. And as you can see, the next, that was split it up. Since we added the group of this individual user, we can see that their results are displayed differently in a separate group. But yeah, that is a basic demonstration of our application. Going back to some of the issues and risks we have ran into along the way. Initially, MVC was a bit of a learning curve, as mentioned before, just getting used to the different components, views, models, and controllers, just how they interact with each other was something new, and we just had to get used to that. As mentioned before, also mentioned, saving, we had some issues around saving questions, basically just determining the different types between comments and individual numerical responses was somewhat difficult to get it all to display properly and save in the database. And along the way, we had to do a lot of changing and updating on the database, working with entity framework classes, making sure everything is associated properly, and just making sure all the keys are working properly to get all this data displayed and stored the right way. Some of the things post-mortem after this project, we got a really good learning experience with real-world software development, some of the challenges we faced, working with stakeholders as just different from various projects we've worked on before. Things we might do differently, probably schedule, assign tasks better, just overall better organization would have gone a long way towards meeting some of the possible stretch goals that we had in mind that we didn't end up getting to. Moving on to that, so some of the next steps, some of the stretch goals that NAU country had for us is being able to display like results in different colors and graphs, just to be able to like view data, be able to determine, just easier on the eyes, separating data and making it look all nice. Also some functionality for saving progress, so you'd be able to save your progress mid-survey, like if someone's taking a survey, you can save it, come back. We did not get to that. And also including reminders for people that have forgotten to take a survey or have not yet taking it. But as mentioned, we have not taken that, so those are the things that we see as the next steps for this project. Questions?
So the survey, it looks like you can take the survey more than once. Is that by design? Or?
That is not by design. We did not, I guess, create the functionality, or we didn't get around to that. So that's probably something that NAU will definitely want to look into. As you can see, there was multiple results from one person. So basically, we just have to make sure that like this link disappears, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's not by design.
And then you had, when you're creating the survey, you had the ability to create text input or the scale, the number scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you think of other options like Boolean, true, false, or yes, no?
I guess as far as that, they mostly wanted just like comment based and then a scale based for the design of how their questions are. It's one of the big things. So I guess we could add more functionality to offer yes, no, or true or false questions, but it was mostly just they wanted a scale and comments-based surveys.
There's a web page error that popped up a couple times. Is that a known problem that's going to be fixed?
I guess that was actually yesterday when we were testing it. We didn't have any issues with the emailing, so I'm not sure what went wrong there. I guess we'd have to look into it and see. Maybe it just mistyped the link or something happened with the emailing. But yeah, we were unaware of that issue until a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I guess, did you guys ever talk about an option for anonymous surveys? Just because, for me personally, if I'm gonna do a survey about my boss, and he knows I'm doing it, I'm gonna say, oh yeah, he's the best person ever. But if it's anonymous, I might say, oh yeah, he tends to stink a little bit, like he might do stuff. So was anonymous surveys ever on the table?
As far as the requirements that we got and our understanding, they definitely wanted to be able to determine who answered what about certain people, and admins are the only people who will be able to view these results. So we could take away the functionality to view each individual response, I guess. That might be something that in the future they want, and just display averages based on their peers and not throw any certain person under the bus or what have you.
Any other questions?
So if we wanted to keep this and use it for peer reviews, it would work pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it should.
I think it would work pretty all right.
Just gotta change the NAU stuff. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.